Somebody was asking me the other day, how do you wake up from the matrix? And there is actual, I don't talk about it a lot. In fact, well, I don't talk about it on camera, but maybe I'll touch on it today. But right now, the first thing I'm starting with is cleaning my water. Why do I clean my water? And by the way, my voice is going to be in and out when I'm away from the microphone. Why do I clean the water, and what do I mean about waking up from the matrix? There's a lot of things, I would call them shenanigans, in my opinion. Now, I will say at the very beginning, I'm not giving medical advice, I'm not making medical claims, and you know what? Everything I'm saying today is just my opinions. None of it is real, all right, guys? I'm just talking out loud here. So anyway, the first thing I do, and a lot of the stuff I do is based on, obviously, scientific fact, is I gotta clean my water. Why? Because the stuff that's in my water is absolutely insane. And if you don't think it affects your brain, and which doesn't allow you to really think clearly, potentially poisoning your blood, poisoning your body, poisoning your mind, your brain. So I gotta clean my water. So this is the first thing that I'm starting with here. I already got my hydrogen machine all set up, and so that's where I'm beginning. And what kind of filter am I really using? Yeah, I guess I should touch on this. Look, this is a reverse osmosis filter, but it's not good enough. So I put the reverse osmosis water into my distiller, what I call my carbon distiller, but I don't need to use the carbon part because I'm using the reverse osmosis already to get some of the things out of here. And then the distillation will do the final job. It'll take out every bacteria, parasite, virus, any type of pathogen, including, fluoride and all sorts of other chemicals like PFAS and everything that's in everybody's water that we know for a fact, scientifically, that it affects us in a very negative way. If anybody wants one of these, you already know you can go to mypurewater.com. If you want a discount code, you can type in Uprising144K if you want to support the information I bring you, but you don't have to. It's whatever you guys want to do. I just want to help you guys out there because we're running out of time. So let's put this thing in the carbon distiller here, which is kind of hard to do with carrying the camera here. I'll put it right in here. Turn it on. There we go. And it does take between 3 to 6 hours to make 1 gallon of the highest purity possible of your water. So that's the first thing. That's how, look, if you want to wake up, I think a lot of people don't even know what it feels like. And some people are kind of getting there. But I've noticed even for myself, the more you purify the body and the blood, the more you start waking up. And I'm really big on keeping my temple and my body as clean as possible. All right, let's see here. What is next? Now, the next thing that you want to do in order to wake up from the matrix, you really do have to have a very, very clean body and get away from all the poisons. That's why I just showed you how to clean water. The next thing is overcoming nutritional deficiencies. The body needs everything for the building blocks. I always start with my Power Shake. This one's from iShopPurium.com if you want to get one. And if you want a discount, also it's the same code, Uprising144K. And that's just if you really want to support the channel. You don't have to, guys. It's definitely not about the money. This is not a big way of making money, actually. But it's all about the really pure nutrients. That's why I like this particular product. I see the lab reports on a lot of these products, and I used to use a different one, and it was good, but this one was way more pure. This thing was so unbelievable, and I realized there's a reason they call it Purium. I don't know where that name is. I thought it was somewhere around here. This is their logo. But yeah, there's a reason they call it Purium, because extremely high purity. Now I'm putting organic turmeric, or turmeric, however you want to pronounce it. But this is all about overcoming nutritional deficiencies. That's how you get your brain running on all cylinders and get all the toxins out, which is really tricky these days. And I've become quite proficient at it. And that's how I help myself. Now, this is just raw cacao. Raw cacao has a lot of health benefits too. You can easily Google all of them if you want. But the point is that what you're going to notice about a lot of the things that I do, here's another secret on how to keep the body pure and helping you wake up, is always look for things that have simple ingredients. So this, if you were to look at the ingredients, it literally is just raw cacao. I mean, that's all it is. This is just turmeric. There's no other ingredients in it. Now, this is just food. Those are all the ingredients of this. Oh, thanks for the thumbs up, by the way, everybody. Now this one's actually was a gift from somebody, so I'm trying it out. These are just minerals. I usually add a different type of minerals with nutrients to the food I eat in the morning. But this one was a gift, so it's nice. All right, I'll be right back. Hold on a second. Let's see. The next ingredient. All right. The next ingredient I like to use, sorry that I gotta walk away from the microphone every time because I am not wearing an earpiece today, is flax seeds. Flax seeds, again, one ingredient. Look at the science on it. They literally have done studies on all these things are either anti-cancerous or anti-parasitic, and they bring all my nutrients. And if you want to live longer too, just so you know, there is now new research, but I've been telling you guys for years already, there is data now showing that if you eat large amounts of fiber, which I've been talking to you guys about, this is everything I'm putting in here practically has fiber today. The flax seeds, all these fruits and vegetables I'm going to do. Large amounts of fiber are actually now proving that they help you live longer. What a surprise, huh? I told you, the Japanese already knew all this stuff a long time ago. All right, what's next? I would say, wow. I would say that I think I have to go grocery shopping soon. Again, I'm always buying produce and produce and produce. Yes, fiber helps so many. Yes, it helps regulate blood glucose. Yes, it helps clean and sweep your GI system. But the interesting thing about it, it helps lower cholesterol. It helps a lot of things, but it helps pull a lot of toxins out, guys. For people who want to detox and you don't want to spend all this silly money on all these products, lots of fiber, guys. It helps the body detox on the regular. So I do it literally. Can you imagine? I make this every single day. So, and I drink my hydrogen water, which I did before this. You didn't get to see that because I hadn't turned on the camera yet. And this is all part of quote unquote waking up. You have to get the way the body functions is a huge part of waking up. A lot of people may have a hard time believing that, but if it wasn't true, there wouldn't be all these toxins and poisons in our food, in the air, maybe, and I say maybe, okay, I'm not making any claims here, maybe in certain, I'll just say certain, maybe medicinal things, maybe, I don't know, I'm just not gonna, well, the funny thing about it is, I mean, there's a lot of facts that I could tell you actually, but I'm not gonna say them because even though, these places like YouTube and stuff, they don't really let you say even the truth a lot of times, so I can give you stuff that I know for a fact is true, it's like scientific fact, but it really could get, quote unquote, the channel, affected. So I won't say anything in regards to that. I'll just say super important for your body to be at the right place if you truly want to, quote unquote, wake up. And think more clearly is another huge part of it. I don't, how many people contact me all the time about their brain fog. And I really think that overcoming brain fog is not the hardest thing in the world. You just have to get all that stuff out of you, neutralize a lot of free radicals, which I use super clean water, super clean hydrogen. Obviously, organic food as much as possible. A lot of people don't believe in organic food. But I have seen the studies on organic food, and it definitely makes a difference. Be right back. Put this back in the fridge. And more produce. Yeah, I got some really beautiful celery yesterday. Look at this one. I'm going to use up what I got from the other day. A lot of wonderful, beautiful produce, guys. All right. While that is soaking, I think I'm going to toss the raisins in. These have natural boron. And also, they just make it a little sweeter. Normally, I soak them. I didn't soak them today or yesterday. And I'm going to put walnuts, anti-cancerous, good fats, and good oils. Now, good oils versus bad oils. Guys, seed oils suck. I've been saying it for a long time. But good oils from natural foods. Remember what I told you about all the ingredients. Yes, everything's organic. But if you look at the ingredients on everything that I'm using, it's just one ingredient. Just walnuts. Okay. So let's wash this produce the best that we can. So that's ultimately how you wake up. If you guys have any questions, you know, let me know. But ultimately, the body is a huge part of it. It's not the whole answer, but the body plays a huge role on how we think, how we feel. Primarily, really, I mean, how we feel is obviously huge. And you know, I've been talking about overcoming nutritional deficiencies for like literally ever, and so many people are finally starting to catch up on that. It's really good. And I really created this program. It was originally just to help me heal. I didn't realize how much it would do for my mind. Okay, what blender do you use? Is it a Vitamix? Okay, so I have more than one type of blender. I have my Vitamix, which I really like. But then there's one also that for the price, I think it's kind of a better deal. But I like the vacuum blender from a website called Void System. I think it's void-system.com. And I have a link on some of my other videos. Unfortunately, I had an issue with the vacuum system. I think I might have screwed something up on it. And so I'm actually gonna send it in for the warranty repair, and then I'll be doing videos on that soon. It was funny, I actually talked to the company yesterday about it, and they said, nobody's ever had that issue, so I'm the first person. They're like, we normally don't have issues like that, but send it in, we'll take care of you. The guy's really nice over there, and I like talking to really good companies where they actually talk to you and offer you really good service. And so I really like the Void System, but the Vitamixes are really good too. I've had this one for a long time too. So I like both of them. I think both are a good choice depending on where you're at, what you're looking for. But I will say, when you're talking about having the best nutrients, obviously the vacuum system is better because it preserves the nutrients by sucking out the oxygen while you're blending so that you don't oxidize everything. And it really makes a difference. The taste is different, the way it looks is different. It's actually kind of remarkable. I'm surprised somebody really came up with that, but hey, I think it's a beautiful thing. Anybody who comes up with something that's better for our health and our brain, I love it. All right, let's keep going forward here. Let's see. Hopefully that answered your question. Oh, and you know what? I guess if you want a discount on the Void System unit, if you put in the Uprising 144K while they have a sale, which I believe they do, then you can get them way cheaper. It just gives you more options. They also have a thing to attach to the actual Vitamix. I'm gonna get hydrogen water. Hold on a second. Okay. If you guys have any questions, this is definitely a good time. Now, these are organic chia seeds that were soaked in hydrogen water. This is really important. A lot of minerals, a lot of omegas, good fats, nuts, seeds, beans, fruit, vegetables, amazing. Okay. Now let's get something that's good for the vascular system. Almost every ingredient here is good for your heart, by the way. Okay, next question. Cece says, what are you doing there with the leaves? Just getting rid of the bad bits? Yes. Yeah, there's a bunch of little bad bits in there. Blueberries are, yes, they appear to be anti-cancerous, but also really good for the vascular system, really good for the heart. So many amazing benefits from berries. The science is really good. Even anti-parasitic in a lot of ways. Yes, I like to pick out the bad spots. I like good, clean, fresh produce. Okay, next one. This one helps your liver, but it also helps produce in the body nitric oxide. Also very anti-parasitic, and that is beets. Love beets. They're so pretty too. All right, hold on. Let's get this going. And they're very sweet when they're kind of raw. I really like my beets a lot, and I never really thought I'd get into beets, but I don't even know how I came up with it sometimes. My brain has a mind of its own sometimes. And this is dangerous. Okay, there we go. Got to get my hand out of the way of the blade. This is a Japanese blade. They make really good knives. The Japanese are masterful. Quite a few things, actually. All right, let's see. And not only is it good for the heart, yes, beets are good for the liver. Yes, they help the body produce nitric oxide. And that's not nitrous oxide, but nitric oxide. If you notice, everything is about blood flow, detox, nutrients, fiber. I mean, everything that I'm doing here is good for the brain, you know, quote unquote, good for your health. And then after I do all this, I have a few magic ingredients literally at the very end. It's some secrets on how to help awaken your brain. So I'll be showing you that here towards the end of the video when I'm done making this, my breakfast basically. All right, that's a lot of beets today. I guess we're just gonna go extra today. Now today, sometimes I go to the store and I get these special deals on organic bananas. And I have a deal I got yesterday. So I'm gonna be using extra bananas today. It really makes them taste better too. So we're gonna start putting them in a different order today. There we go. This is a good trick. Somebody was asking me, you know, about how much fiber does the body really need, because it needs way more than you might think. Okay, someone says, Michelle says, hello, sweet brother. Hello. Are you doing there? Let's see. Somebody says, how long would you soak the nuts, seeds, raisins in hydrogen water for? Is there a limit on how long? There's no limit, but I would soak them overnight. That way, they're basically ready for the next day. So that's how I do it. But you could do it just for a few hours. You could, if you just want to get the hydrogen in them, then even as little as 20 to 30 minutes is enough. All right, another magic ingredient, if you want to read about it, is ginger. Normally it's very hard to find organic ginger, especially affordable organic ginger, but I did. When I find it and it's affordable, then I buy it. If you're rich, well, then you don't have to worry about that. You just got to find it. All right, here we go. And you really would be surprised what difference it makes to have clean water, amazing clean hydrogen, and lots of these produce and fiber, and ultimately, again, overcoming nutritional deficiencies, guys. I can't emphasize it enough. I was talking to a guy yesterday, actually. I'm always learning, you know, people really do try to overcome nutritional deficiencies, but everybody has trouble with it. And I've literally, I'm sure you guys, a lot of you have seen it. I've literally created this program, and for free, you know, I don't charge to show you guys how to do it. And I just show you what I do. You know, that's probably the easier way to do it. And we're putting in ginger here to awaken the mind, connect it with the spirit, think more clearly. All right, let's keep going. Because I know I'm gonna get hungry, and we're almost done here. Okay, next one, celery. All right, is there such a thing as soaking them too long if I wanted to soak them in a batch for multiple smoothies? You know, I don't like to smoke them. I don't like to smoke them. Yeah, let me smoke my celery. I don't like to soak them for too long because you got to keep them as fresh as possible. So I always try to make the amount overnight, and then I put them in the smoothie the next morning, and then I do it again, you know, soak the amount. So I always soak the amount for enough for 1 day before. And you know, this funny thing about the whole matrix thing, I really don't want to attack people, and I'm not, and if it sounds like it, I'm not doing that. But there's certain things that people are doing these days that shock me, and it's been going on for, you know, years, and things that people say are healthy, and I'm like, I know that it's not healthy, you know, but yet somehow people are getting like fooled and so easily these days, and it's pretty wild to me. But if I go out and say anything, the people who are getting fooled just lose their marbles, and they really think, you know, that they're right. And you know, I don't need to be right. I don't have that kind of ego where I need to argue with people. Usually, believe it or not, I actually just don't. I just don't say anything. I tend to keep my mouth shut a lot, believe it or not. And I do that because you can't argue with people, and especially when you actually know, like you already know the right way to do something, and I've proven it so many times. So, you know, there's no point. Like I said, I don't want to argue with people about silly things. So you let people believe what they want to believe. And remember, they're good. If anybody's going to suffer the repercussions, whatever path you choose. So it's up to you, really, in the end. And I know I've chosen my path for a long time. I have constantly improved it. And I was just very surprised, these protocols I've been doing, how much it's affected my mind throughout the years. I was telling somebody about the hydrogen, the way that it's affected my brain. Yeah, it's been affecting me for a long time, but more recently, in fact, it was probably not just super recent, but it started about 4 years roughly after using the hydrogen. So the hydrogen works on you daily. Just like a good healthy diet works on you daily, your body, so for people who don't know, your body has roughly a 7-year cycle. So during that 7-year cycle, there's a lot of interesting things that your body is going through and always regenerating. And if you got constant poison in the body, if you have nutritional deficiencies, you're not getting better every year. And if you are, then things can begin to transform. And that's what's kind of been happening to me. I'm surprised, you know, whether it's my blood work, whether it's the scans I just had recently, things that I'm always trying to measure and test to see if what I'm doing is working. And it really does appear to be working. I'll be right back. Put this back in the fridge. And as many of you know, my big thing is purity, but it definitely starts with pure water. I mean, you gotta have clean water. And then when you make hydrogen has to be clean. I mean, if you can believe it, some people literally use chemicals like lye, cheap metals that are plated, trying to make good hydrogen. And I'm just telling people, hey, honestly, I think it just makes things worse. So I would just stay away from it. I would just do clean water. If you can't do hydrogen properly, and I know it's difficult for some people, then yeah, just don't do it. Just eliminate certain things out of your diet. Clean your water to the maximum that you can. It's actually very affordable to clean your water. I have the lab reports to prove what the cleanest water is as far as water filtration, because I know all the different water filtration modalities. And it really has a lot to do with this spiritual path. You know, there's a reason that the ancient scriptures said that the body is the temple. And I think that's the very reason that I actually personally think that the body's under attack. Now, whether it's being done on purpose or not, that's a whole other thing. You know, and I guess I won't go into that right now unless somebody has questions about it. But all I can tell you is that the human body is something very, very, I think it's more amazing than people really understand. And I don't mean amazing like, yes, it's an amazing piece of biology. You know, it's a living thing. It's absolutely remarkable. But I think that it's even bigger than that. And I don't think most people can really see it yet, but they will. It's coming. In fact, I don't know if you guys noticed something very interesting. You know that an eclipse is coming, right? Does everybody know about this, the eclipse and what's coming on April 8th? Anybody? Because there's something very interesting about this eclipse that's coming. Something that I haven't heard anybody talk about, but I, of course, did realize it, and you know, maybe others will too very soon. I don't know. Again, maybe it has to do with waking up from the matrix. And I'm telling you, when you clean your blood, just think about it. Like, did you know they test people's blood for pesticides and their urine, and they literally see a lot of residue of pesticides. This blood is flowing all over your body. It's going to your brain. It's going to your GI system. I mean, what do you think it's going to do to the way you perceive things, the way you see the world? How easy you are to possibly manipulate and convince, you know? Things are so simple. Things are actually much simpler than we might think. And you just need to have the highest of clarity. And that's what I'm trying to show you guys how to do here. Because I never expected this to happen. I was just trying to heal my body. That's all I was trying to do. I didn't realize it would do certain things to my brain. Never thought that. Never crossed my mind. Can you believe that? Didn't even cross my mind. All right, let me put more hydrogen water in here. Hold on a second. All right, let's see here. Now, this, for me, is a lot of fiber, a lot of minerals, a lot of nutrients. And with the hydrogen water that I drank before and that I'm soaking in there, I've found it helps me absorb the nutrients. I've said this story probably a million times, how doctors are shocked at how I absorb nutrients. I mean, absolutely shocked. All right. In fact, they're so shocked, they asked me for advice. They're like, can you please tell me how you're doing this? How are you absorbing this level of nutrients? Even when our food is deficient, guys. Think about that. Our food is deficient and somehow I'm finding a way to absorb enough nutrients to where I am not deficient. Apparently in anything, which is almost unheard of. And I'm showing you guys how to do it. So all you gotta, and you can do it yourself. You can go get your own blood work. All that good stuff. All right, says, hi, I have a question. Is hydrogen water have ORP? Yes, but it does. But ORP, you don't want to just focus on ORP, by the way. I mean, just look at swimming pools and how they measure ORP. That's, you know, it's something that's overrated and completely the wrong way about thinking about hydrogen and potentially even health. But yes, it's part of it, but it's not the whole picture. All right, let's go ahead and get this all blended. I'm going to show you some magic ingredients here in a second. Really important ones. This is going to change the way your brain works. So I'll show you in a second. Show you some very serious brain food here. All right. You guys would truly be amazed what I've been able to accomplish with some dementia and Alzheimer's patients. It's unbelievable, especially when it's deemed impossible. You really this so long because I got to really grind this down. There's a lot of chunks in here. Hold on. All right, let's try that. And then we'll get a few of the magic ingredients. I'll show you which ones that are, I'm not kidding, amazing for the brain. Your brain has to be running on all cylinders if you want to wake up, guys, just saying. All right, here we go. Deficiencies. Now, next ingredient. A lot of science to support this one. The brain works way better. In fact, it doesn't work very well when it's deficient in it, and that's vitamin D3. Vitamin D3, this is D3 with K2 in its ionic form. Nobody does that except this company. Really good stuff. I've talked to the doctor from the company. We've had some very good conversations and how hydrogen appears to work with minerals too. But vitamin D3, guys, absolutely crucial for your immune system, but for so many things, your bone density, the way your brain works, so many things, it's ridiculous. I'm like very much on top of my vitamin D levels, but don't overdo it. You never want to overdo it either. Okay. So now let's sit down And I'm gonna have my last two magic ingredients for my brain, and then I'll answer a few questions. If nobody has any, then I'll let you guys go. Next one is hemp hearts, of all things, right? And this apparently can make you test positive by accident on potentially a drug test. But hemp hearts are so highly nutritious. It's a bunch of minerals, most well-balanced protein in the world, the omegas. And let's go ahead and sit down, and then let's see if I can take you guys, see if I can carry the camera at the same time and show you the very last ingredient that is probably the best one for the brain. Okay, this one is one of my favorites. It actually brings everything together, which is really important, like shoelaces on a shoe. You know, super important. And nobody's doing it. I invented this particular part of my protocol, obviously. I could look up a few things. Here we go. Last ingredient. Hydrogen. So inhaling hydrogen going straight to the brain while I drink my smoothie on top of it all. It's a really, really good protocol in my opinion. So Carolyn says, I tried natto for the first time yesterday. Uh-oh. And she says, I am glad I only used half of the container. Yes, it is a very strong flavor. As I've definitely stated before, you do have to get used to it. And it took me about 3.5 years to really like it, but that's why I started putting in the smoothie, because it's an easy way to get it. And natto has almost as much protein as beef. They actually caution you. See, this is the difference between Japan and America when it comes to understanding diet and the science behind it. They have so much science, so much data in Japan about diet. And basically, too much protein is not good for you. And when it comes to natto, they literally tell you do not have more than 3 packets a day. There is such a thing as too much. And just recently, I knew somebody who was always overloading on protein. Unfortunately, he just recently died. Very sad. Life is all about balance, and it's more about getting your nutrients than it is about getting protein. All right, let's see here. Carolyn says, oh my, enjoying natto is an acquired taste for sure. I told you guys. But once you like it, it's really good. And it pairs good with certain things. I noticed it goes really good with bananas for some reason. It's good. Inhale, straight to my brain. But also while I'm inhaling, opening up ghost vessels, which allows the blood and the nutrients to go to areas of the body where it normally doesn't get to. I truly believe that my body is a temple and that I must treat it well. Okay, Stacy says, our bodies have been under attack or over a century. I assume she means for over a century. They want us living less and under the control, I guess is what she means. What better way to control them through illness, pain, and fear? Absolutely. Is this live? Yes. The disciple whom diagnosis loved. Yes, this is live. And I'm going to be done soon, by the way. I was just showing the morning routine, showing people how to help liberate their minds, their bodies. That's just the start. But you have to get your body right. Michelle says, April 8th is biblical. Please share what you have seen that others haven't. Well, I give you, I guess, a clue. When was the last time that we had a celestial event just like this one? Can anybody find that information? Because I already know the answer, but it's so interesting because it doesn't happen very often. Does anybody know when the last one was? There's only 13 people in here, so not a lot of people. I only got 4 thumbs up, which is kind of crazy. Come on, guys, 13 thumbs up. You can do it. It just helps support the channel, you know. It just shows a little love. It's free. It's easy. So easy, right? Just click. Show some gratitude. Gratitude is key and pivotal to happiness. Okay, I'm gonna probably get going soon, but so nobody knows. Wow, 3 people just left. Nobody knows, huh, when it happens? When the last time a celestial event like this happened? Nobody, huh? Oh, thanks. Oh, there we go. Some thumbs up coming in. All right, I guess I'll just tell you since nobody's saying it. 1776. Does that ring a bell for anybody? Carolyn says, I forgot. Does that ring a bell for anybody? 1776. Anybody? This one turned out really good today. I love me a good smoothie day. It actually tastes really good. Makes you feel good. That's the important part, feeling good. Like people with depression, I highly recommend overcoming every nutritional deficiency, cleaning out the garbage out of your system, and definitely inhaling hydrogen if you have access to it. Taking some deep breaths from the nose, get that hydrogen in me. Karen Hunter says 200 years. I was asking for like a date. Cece says, what's the main taste of the smoothie? Beetroot? No, it actually tastes, well, geez, what does it taste like? It's got a nice sweetness actually from the banana and the raisins and the blueberries, which is kind of the goal. I try to overcome the other flavors, but there's a sweetness that comes from the carrots a little bit, little sweetness from the beets. So it really isn't horrible. I mean, I actually really like it. And then the disciple whom Diogenes loved, whatever. I don't know what you tried to spell there, but he says, give me liberty or give me death. American independence, 1776. That's absolutely correct. Don't you find that interesting? That's when we had the last celestial event. So that's something very interesting and important too. I'm surprised not one person has realized that online yet. I haven't seen it anywhere. I'm going to eat. Do I have it here? Let me go see if I have this other ingredient, which I'm going to eat real quick here. Hold on a second. So, I like this product too. I have some links for it somewhere. RNC. It's I like how they're literally lab tested apricot seeds. Get my B17 in me, non-GMO, all organic, lab tested. My favorite website for getting apricot seeds. Well, what is the website? It is rncstore.com. And if you want a discount code, it's Uprising144K. I don't even know if they give me anything, but they did send me some, so I'm happy with that. Bitters, I'm sure you guys know bitters are really good. These are bitter. I try to eat these once in a while. I try to do a lot of cancer prevention stuff. I don't know if you guys seen the rates of cancer lately. Through the roof, statistically. So many people I know are getting it. Unbelievable, guys. Life is crazy right now. It's kind of hard to believe. But the disciple whom Diogenes, is that what you're trying to say? Diogenes or diagnosed? Probably not diagnosed. But yeah, he calls himself the disciple. That guy is, I think you're correct kind of on this whole 1776, but that's what it is. 1776, guys. That's when we had a last celestial event. I do think there's a wave of awakening coming and it's almost like they're trying to stop it, you know, so. Hope Travel Girl says, yeah, unfortunately, yeah, there are, maybe, possibly, I'm not making any claims, medical interventions that affect us. I mean, I could tell you, so I do a lot of research, and I can tell you that the stuff that I've seen in multiple different types of medicines that are pretty shocking and not really great for the brain. Here, give me 1 second, I'm gonna grab more smoothie. This stuff is like liquid gold for me. Super good. I gotta tell you, I've talked to a lot of doctors, but I've never had a doctor call me after seeing my blood work the way they did this last time. So that's how I know I'm doing something right. When they start saying, hey, I want to do whatever it is you're doing. Can you please tell me? But when I told her, she was, she basically realized, oh, what, this takes effort? She thought it was just a simple pill that I was taking. I'm like, no. You have to clean your water. She goes, clean your water? I have a water filter. I'm like, not enough. You got to run it through carbon distiller. Okay. Carolyn says, I add wheatgrass, really good stuff, by the way, and broccoli sprouts, super good stuff. I oftentimes make those, but not every time. And a lemon. Lemons are great, but I have found that they just do not taste right in smoothies. So I've tried it, can't do that one. But I use the lemons in a different way later in the day. But I wonder if the lemon is good to combine with other stuff. Lemons are really great. Really, truly amazing. I use them in different other ways, but in my smoothies, it just ruins the flavor. Anything like grapefruit, lemon, maybe even oranges, they don't seem to go well in the smoothie for me, too tangy. I don't know why, but hey, the other ones, I love the wheatgrass and broccoli sprouts. If I could throw those in my smoothie every day, I totally would. Broccoli sprouts, highly anti-cancerous. I'm gonna guess they're also anti-parasitic. In fact, let me verify. Let's find out, because that'd be really good to know. Let's see here. Are broccoli sprouts anti-parasitic? There you go. Yep, I was right. See, I don't know. I just sometimes when you get more clear in the head, you just kind of can feel it. And they have found that not only is it anti-cancerous, but also kills, well, for example, H. pylori. And there you go, guys. It appears it's anti-cancerous and anti-parasitic. And I know it's got all sorts of other benefits, including, you know, overcoming some nutritional deficiencies. All right, Dremore says, I just bought a bunch of fruits and veggies. Making my smoothie soon. You go, boy. You go, brother. Get yourself right. I know you've been struggling lately, trying to stay on track. I know a lot of people tell me these videos somehow help keep them inspired. That is something I think eventually people need to find their own inspiration, but it is great to be able to inspire others. So if that does that, if these videos help, great. Okay, Hope Travel Girl says, 4 in my family who took them, 1 died. You know, Hope Girl, it's so sad. And she goes, oh wait, 6 took, 4 got, I'm assuming she means cancer, 1 died. And I don't know, I was thinking about sharing this in the video too, because I just had a lot of people who are very close to me. And yeah, I've had like 7 people pass in a very short period of time, and it's been so sad. And it's been heartbreaking. It's the reason I kind of took some time off from making videos there for a while. But we honor those, in my opinion, because I've thought about this a lot. We honor the people who we love that have passed by us living our best life. And I don't mean living our best life like you know, just going to work every day or something. Like doing things for others to me is one of the biggest things. I mean, there's a guy by the name of Jesus. Though that's not his real name, by the way, or his real name is Yeshua. But, you know, he said, love your neighbor as yourself. And I think that loving one another is pivotal to all that it comes from love and goodness. And so I'm just trying to show you guys some love by sharing a lot of this information that I've spent a lot of time trying to understand and find the answers to these questions. And if you've gone through some medical thing, who knows, but you really got to do everything to get your body to the best possible state possible. And no matter what you believe, there's a few things that are just kind of no-brainers. Clean water, clean air, and in my opinion, hydrogen is like one of the biggest no-brainers we could ever do. And Stacy says, how much protein are we supposed to consume now per day? And Stacy says, independence. There you go, girl. I agree with you. Yeah, how much protein? You know, I don't necessarily, I mean, I could find a number here based on, I can go with the Japanese data. Let me check. You know, in my opinion, but I can tell you, let's see. In fact, here, let me tell you something about natto. Because it has to do with protein, but natto is rich in protein, rich in vitamins, rich in minerals, but most of the food's health benefit actually comes from a powerful enzyme called nattokinase or nattokinase. It's the only food source of nattokinase, this particular enzyme, which is really good for you guys. There's a reason I put it in my smoothie almost every single day. But you can also buy it in a supplement. I prefer its raw food form, but yeah, you can get supplements. If I ever find a good one, I'll let you know. And so yes, and I won't give too many other details about that. What's funny is about the amount of protein that they have and how much they say that you should. This is interesting. This is the difference between the Japanese websites and the American ones. On the American website, it says, there is no set recommendation of how much natto you should eat per day. The study suggests 100, 200 milligrams of nattokinase, that's the enzyme though, is safe and effective dose, yeah. What I like about natto too is it also has, and it says right here actually, it has an enzyme that has been shown to have blood thinning properties. So what people don't realize about my protocol, oh, somebody just wrote, I did not see non-GMO natto. Yeah, I get the organic non-GMO. If you can't find it, if you look at the labels, the stuff from Japan is typically grown in a very organic, non-GMO way. Hope Travel Girl says, yes, that is really good as a blood thinner too. Yes, exactly. That's the reason I combine specific things. Vascular system, so your blood vessels are nice and flexible. The nitric oxide producing foods really opens up the blood flow. The hydrogen gets the blood not only crazy moving and opens up the ghost vessels, then you got the natto, which even thins the blood a little bit, which gets it flowing even more. The whole combination's so crazy. I mean, I kind of think I hit the jackpot. You know, when I say the jackpot, I mean this diet and protocol that I've created that nobody does. I mean, literally nobody really talks about, you know, this protocol because I'm really small time. Obviously, we only got 12 people in here, but it works so good, in my opinion. Like I said, even a doctor, she had been a doctor, she said for decades, she's been doing it for decades. I believe she's been doing it for over 3 decades, her job. And she said in all those years, she never once, now that's shocking. I thought maybe, I don't know, maybe some teenager who's really healthy She's like, I've never seen blood work like this. She goes, never, like ever, ever. That's why I'm calling you. And it was so shocking. She's like, I've never called a patient about their blood work like this, ever. Truly, truly amazing. And it's not that I'm amazing. It's that if you just figure out how to clean your water, put hydrogen in it, and take some ingredients that just seem to be really magical for the body, I mean, it's not the most complicated thing in the world. It's unbelievable. Anybody can do it. It's not like $30,000 or people pay all this crazy money for these protocols. And I'm showing you for free, you know, guys. So anyway, all right. I'm probably gonna let you go soon unless somebody has a final question. As far, oh yeah, protein. You know, let's see here. You know, I don't focus so much on protein as much as I focus on nutrients. I'm all about nutrients and overcoming nutritional deficiencies. I don't really focus a lot on protein. I mean, roughly it is supposedly recommended to have roughly 60 grams of protein. But what I can tell you is one packet of natto has roughly 20 grams. And the Japanese say not to eat more than 3 a day. Like that's maximum, which would be 60 grams of protein almost, roughly. Just from natto alone. So, you know, and it depends on body weight too. And I think it depends what kind of protein. You know, you want high quality protein. Again, I'm more focused on nutritional deficiencies than I am in protein. I much rather have proper vitamin D levels, proper my B complexes, you know, especially like B12, you know, my minerals, my vitamin C, you know, I'd rather have all my nutrients where they should be rather than just focusing on just protein. It's too narrow-minded in my opinion for something that's so complex as the human body. Let's see. Carolyn says, I am very thankful for this information you share. You know, thank you for that. I believe gratitude is a beautiful thing and we should all work on it more. And when people are grateful for even the things I bring them, I appreciate it very much. I'm grateful for your gratitude, so thank you for your kind words. Thank you so much. And I sincerely hope it helps everybody out there. That's the most important thing right now. We need healthy bodies out there. Probably the minority, the 144,000, right? In this case, there's only 14 in the room. Okay, let's see here. Michelle Spencer says, yes, thank you. So thank you guys. If you have any last questions, now is the time. I'm gonna get going. But if you have more questions, I can answer them while I drink my smoothie. In fact, I'm gonna grab a little more. I already drank 2 glasses and I've been inhaling hydrogen for how long here? About half an hour. Let's see. Today is a very good smoothie day. And then I can show you guys if you really want, if I decide to do coffee or tea today. Now green tea is a much better choice, but I could also show you how I make my coffee. I'm a little picky about my coffee, but if I decide to have any. Okay. And let's see here. Cece says, me too. I've watched this the whole way through and learned so much. Wow, Cece. Thanks for sticking around. Well, I'm really glad and more than anything, very glad that you guys are finding it helpful, but I really hope that you find ways to apply it in your life, improve your brain function, all that good stuff. And thanks for all supporting the channel and all the thumbs up. Thank you so much. Mr. Chu says, amen to that, brother. Thank you. Let's see. Hope Travel Girl says, check out Echo H2O and see what you think about them. I already know. I've already checked. I've known about Echo forever, and I'm not a huge fan. You are the perfect person I thought they should partner with. Well, you know, if they wanted to work with me, I would have showed them what's wrong with a lot of equipment that they promote. I don't understand why. Well, I do understand, and I've learned that a lot of it has to do with money. I discovered that there were companies who had been contacted because people contact me, and even companies contact me, and they're like, hey, I'm interested in the Hydrofix. And I'm like, well, then contact the company. So they contact the company, and then I see later that they weren't carrying the product. And so I even asked the company, I said, you know, these guys contacted me. They seem so serious. They wanted to carry the product. So that way I can refer people like in other countries. And you know what it comes down to? This is really wild. The only reason they don't want to do it is because the machines are very expensive to build, because they're super high quality, lab tested, hand built in Japan. And it's not cheap. They use the best metal, the best membranes, all the best parts that are more expensive. And so there's less profit to be made as compared to the Chinese products. So a lot of these companies are choosing the products not based on what's the best for people, but it's based on what's the best financial decision for making money. And that's what I see with a lot of the eco products. That's why I'm personally disappointed. I really wish that they would do something great and try to carry a good product. It's not like they can't carry a good product. They just, all the products they carry, I know where they're made. I've seen those products for years, and they're nothing that special. So I'm not really impressed. And a lot of the stuff I would never even, me personally, I wouldn't even suggest it. I would never promote it because I would never even use it myself. So yeah, I know, I've known about Echo for a long time. In fact, there's an article that I found because they used to have a product where all the claims they were making, in my opinion, were like, they didn't make any sense. I know how hydrogen works, and the things that they were claiming, I knew was not possible in the world of hydrogen. It just was not possible. And so their claims were outrageous. And eventually, they were offering like lifetime warranties. The machines never needed maintenance. I knew that this couldn't be true. And eventually, a lot of people got screwed. And I believe they maybe, don't quote me on this, I'm not making any claims, but I believe they filed bankruptcy at some point because a bunch of the people really got screwed. You can Google it. Somebody wrote a whole article about it. A lot of people were very upset. And I don't think they love their customers. That's my honest truth, But you know what? Most businesses don't. Some do, though. There are good businesses out there that really, I believe, care about their customers. And so when you're trying to make the best, and those are the products I try to find. I like the Purium powder. To me, it's the best one I've ever seen. The hydrogen is the same thing. The Hydrofix, I love what they do. I absolutely think that what they're doing is great. And even the ionic minerals that I like, the vitamin D, I've talked to the doctor from that company. And I really do like, there are good companies out there, but they're very few. And I try to find them, and they're very hard to find, actually. And that's why I don't really like promote 50 products or 100 products or 200 products. A lot of YouTubers or different people do that. I don't do that. Mine's small time, and I just share with you guys what I personally use. Okay, let's see here. Hope Travel Girl says, of course. Yeah, it's crazy how much they choose the money thing over getting a good product. Let's see, Dramore says, are you saving this live stream? I want to rewatch it. Yeah, I'll save it for you. Jamor says, I missed it. All right, I'll save it. Mr. Chu says, Dr. Paul claim that we need ORP or the hydrogen water will not have too much impact in our body. Okay, well, first of all, Dr. Paul is, he's not a hydrogen specialist. I hate to tell you that. He's a chiropractor, but whatever. But he is partially correct. Look, hydrogen does have an ORP. But that's not really what's so important about it. There's a lot of things that have negative ORP. In fact, there are things that have negative ORP that are actually negative for you, that are not good for you. So, forget the ORP thing. I really wouldn't hyper focus on that. What I will say is that hydrogen, yes, hydrogen's very, very important for you. And in fact, I don't know why Dr. Paul doesn't mention it, because this is actually the important part, is how many milligrams of hydrogen you actually get is what truly matters. And the way that you make hydrogen, which I don't hear anybody talking about, including Dr. Paul, is very important. There is a true hydrogen specialist. I know Dr. Paul isn't, but there is a doctor in Japan who is a true hydrogen specialist. He also happens to be, he is an MD. He actually is a neurosurgeon, which is at the top of the heap in the medical world, neuroscientist, and happens to be a hydrogen specialist. And he doesn't use any eco product, which is kind of funny. He only uses literally what I'm using right here. He will only use the Hydrofix, he says, and he has no financial incentive. He doesn't have anything to do with the company. He only uses it, and it's the only machine that he recommends to his patients. This is a big deal. None of those machines that they sell over there at Echo, like every Hydrofix is lab tested and certified. That's nuts. I think I have the lab certificate here somewhere. And it's completely crazy that they do that because it's so expensive, so tedious. It is not easy. But that's the reason, it's one of the many reasons that this machine became the #1 machine in all of Japan. And it also makes the water and the gas inhalation. I notice a lot of the Echo products, Dr. Paul's products, he doesn't really have a lot of inhalation devices or almost any at all, which is not correct if you're following the science. So if he's a hydrogen specialist, then why wouldn't he understand this? So there's a lot of question marks, but I don't care. I use what's the best. I've been studying it for a long time, and I'm non-biased. I don't go with the cheapest product. I don't go with what has the most benefit financially. I go with what the best is for my body, and that's what I share with you guys. So Mr. Chu, I hope that answers your question. Again, if anybody has any, this is your time, because I'm definitely going to go soon if nobody has any other questions. But I will say there are products out there that are worse. Definitely worse than Echo's products. They are not the absolute worst out there. In my opinion, the worst ones, and these are all my opinions, I'm not making any claims for or against any product or products. One is anything that uses lye, which is sodium hydroxide. It's a chemical, and they use it to make hydrogen and Brown's gas, which I just think is like, in my opinion, it's lunacy. And then stainless steel is not the right metal to use to make hydrogen for many reasons, which I won't go into all those reasons. I've learned the science of metals. I had to in order to learn about hydrogen. It's so complex. And then I'm not a fan of hydrogen pills at all. Still surprised they even sell those. And beyond that, then it's the Echo products. They're kind of in the middle. Let's see here. Dramor says, so meat isn't so bad so long as it's fresh. Dramor. Well, it all depends on what your goals are, Dramor. I mean, I'm not saying the meat is bad, and I'm not saying it's good. I'm just saying, you know, it really depends on what your goals are. You can't just eat nothing but steak all day, I'll tell you that much. I mean, that's how somebody very close to me just died. They literally were on the carnivore diet for, it was like 1 or 2 years. I don't remember. It was a long time. And I'm very sad, but it caused them to have a heart attack. It's definitely not good for your vascular system, and vascular system's super important. Stacy says, I can't get natto here. And you know, Stacy, for that, I'm sorry. I can't control that part. People always ask me, where can I get it? But you have to find it in your area. It's in the freezer section. It has to be frozen. Mr. Chu, thumbs up. Nova the Zombie Fighter says, do you think hydrogen therapy can help with paralysis? It depends. It depends on what's causing the paralysis. In my opinion, it can potentially. I knew a woman who had issues with her brain, and the hydrogen was so amazing and started bringing these parts of the brain back to life, and boom, she started being able to move her arm, her fingers, her legs. So it just depends on what's, I mean, if you have a spine that's super damaged and, you know, severed nerves. In fact, there was a story in Japan, this was interesting, somebody who had a back injury and their nerves needed to grow, but they grow so slowly. And they told this person, how long did they say he was going to not be able to walk for? Because to grow a nerve the tiniest of distance literally can take years. And he used hydrogen, and it sped up the process by, I believe, triple the speed actually. And so he started walking again way sooner than what he was supposed to. So that was a very, very interesting one, because hydrogen appears to really accelerate the healing process and recuperation, I think by triple the speed from everything I've seen. Jamor says, but the flavor, the texture, the juices, meat is so good. Okay, well, do whatever you want, my brother. I mean, you can eat meat if you want to. I think there's a healthy way to consume it. My big issue for me, and this is, I mean, there's a difference between my opinions and what I do versus what other people would do. Hydrogen did not regrow my bald spot. I want my money back. Yeah, pour hydrogen water all over your head. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen anything that actually says that it grows hair. Some people have made some crazy claims, but it doesn't do everything under the sun. A lot of hair growth has to do with actually hormonal. It's hormonal, so hormones, which is interesting because some of the drugs they use, there was a comedian that was so funny. He was saying how there's drugs that help you with your hair loss. He's like, okay, so I can't get any girls because he said I don't have hair.
So he uses these drugs to get his hair, but the drugs have a side effect where he now has ED and basically sexual dysfunction. He said, so now I can get the girls, but I have no sexual function. So he was like, he said, so what do I do? And it was really a funny bit that he did. I love comedians, they're so funny. Dramor says, I still can't levitate. Jeez. This hydrogen machine is a scam. Well, it's not going to make you levitate, that's for sure. That's not what the science is showing, Dramor. If you're wanting to levitate, maybe, you know, if you tied a bunch of hydrogen balloons to you, maybe that would work. All right, guys, here, let me grab a little bit more smoothie. I keep craving it. If you have any last questions, and then, yeah, I do got to let you go here. This smoothie just turned out so good today. You know, some days the smoothie turns out better than others, but today really turned out good. In fact, I got this heat pack on me. Feels really nice, but it's starting to get cold. Cooling down. Okay, let's see. Nova Zombie Fighter says, thank you. You're very welcome. All right, guys, you're very welcome. Any last questions? Let's see. Cece says, do you typically eat half smoothie for breakfast and half for lunch? I do like to do that, yes. Sometimes I don't get around. You know what's interesting about I'll tell you something, guys, something very interesting about overcoming nutritional deficiencies. It took me a while for my body to get to this point. The more parasites I got rid of, the more nutritional deficiencies that I was able to overcome and not have them. All of a sudden, I was very much able to control my hunger, and I don't need as much as I thought I once did. So like, I don't have to eat that much. That's why these smoothies, like I literally can have this smoothie and I will be good basically all day until I get to about dinner time, pretty easily. And that wasn't normal for me. And if I were to eat more, I do feel really stuffed and really full, but I can do that. And a lot of it depends on how much exercise also. You know, if you do a lot of exercise, you get more hungry. I do stretching and what I call PIR exercises. And I have a very simple exercise routine. It probably doesn't take me more than 15, 20 minutes. I don't do a lot, just some walking, you know, very basic stuff. And that's enough, you know, for me. But if you're gonna do more, then you're gonna wanna consume more for sure. Let's see, Stacy says, thank you for your time and contribution to others. Well, thank you, that's very kind, and I sincerely appreciate that comment, and you're very welcome. Dramor says, I like feeding my parasites. Oh, geez. They give me interesting thoughts and ideas. Conquer the world, do it now. That almost sounds like the parasite talking. The parasite inside of you is like, I love to feed my parasites. If you follow the science and you look at, the Japanese have a really amazing museum dedicated to the research of parasites. If you truly understood what they're doing in your body, believe me, you would not want them in your body. They're absolutely insane what they do to us. I mean, so insane, making you crave certain things that, you know, you really don't, you shouldn't be eating. You think you want to eat it. You think it satisfies you. Maybe you even feel guilty afterwards. They wreak so much havoc on our body and just the way that our brains function. So if you want to wake up from the matrix, you definitely don't want to be feeding your parasites. In fact, it's actually the opposite. You definitely want to get the parasites out of you. And so that's just my opinion. I'll tell you who wouldn't want to hear that, and that would be the parasites. They're like, no, don't tell people to get rid of us. All right, guys. Any last questions? And Dramor says, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I could tell when I saw you last time. So there's certain things that I can see in people, and I don't ever say anything though, but I can see people, and I can see by looking at the human body is like, it's almost like a book. You can really look and tell a lot by looking at nails, the skin, the eyes, teeth and oral health. The shape, actually, the shape of the body tells you a lot. Your feet tell a lot about your health. You know, your vascular, like, you know, the veins. There's a lot of interesting things that you can tell a lot about a person. I met somebody yesterday, and I mean, I can tell, I tell people stuff all the time, and I remember this one guy, he was like, "Are you like psychic or something?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not psychic." You just have to be observant. There's a lot of things you can tell. Hope Travel Girl says, "Have a great day, thank you." You're very welcome. You have one too. Have a good one. Nova the Zombie Fighter says, "Sometimes I feel like my depression is partially caused by parasites." And I wouldn't doubt that. There's a lot of work when it comes to depression. See, this is what I don't like about the way doctors treat depression sometimes. They just want to give you a pill. I don't think it's just a chemical imbalance, and if it is, you want to overcome nutritional deficiencies, not a pill. The science of vitamin D and exercise show to be more effective than any antidepressant ever made. Okay, if antidepressants worked, nobody would be depressed. And so many people are on them. In my personal opinion, they don't work. I think for the few people that they work for, it's placebo, in my opinion. The science on, and I'm not making any claims, all right, but so the whole science on the antidepressants, you really should see, so that I don't make any, I'm not saying anything about it, I just can tell you that read about how it affects the brain in the long term. All I'll say is after I wouldn't want any of that stuff for me after seeing what it does in the long term to the brain. I personally think it maybe, potentially, I'm not making a claim here, in my opinion, it could actually make things worse. So anyway, let's see here. So I don't know, Nova the Zombie Fighter, what you're doing but for your depression, but I hope that you can find your way out of it, because it is not an easy road. And when depression is circumstantial, that's different. Because if it's circumstantial, like you're in a bad relationship, you know, now being overweight, for example, that's going to affect your biology and affect your mind. So if it's something biological like that, is different than situational. I'd rather it be biological because you can fix that. Situational is tough. You know, do you need to break up with someone? Do you need a different job? If you're struggling financially, that can be very stressful and depressing. So all those things are really tough. You got to figure out what the source of it is. George says, my face changed. It's more round now. It was more narrow on the pure diet. You know, Dremore, I noticed that when I saw you last, you know, you were doing so good. You were getting really lean. You were looking really good. And then the last time I saw you, I'm like, what happened? You know, we don't talk really much anymore. And I stopped talking to you, and you went with the delicious food apparently, right? Which I understand, it's delicious, you know. And then Dremore says, I think you're the first to come up with this diet, the pure diet. I'll coin it for you. I think it's important. So I don't know if I'm the first, but I definitely don't see a lot of people talking about it. Cece says, have you ever seen hydrogen help bipolar? My boyfriend has been diagnosed with BPD2 the last few years and wondering if it could help that for him. We have a holy hydrogen machine on the way. I would have him check nutritional deficiencies, definitely get on vitamin D in my opinion, definitely get on hydrogen, and definitely get clean water. There's too many things in our water that are affecting us. And just so you know, the 3 largest pharmaceuticals found in the water in lab testing were antidepressants, which is just nuts. You'd think the whole world would be happy, and I don't think so. 2, women's contraception. So women's contraception is not what you want to be drinking, the way it affects you hormonally. In my opinion, a very big problem. You don't want that in your water. And that's also plastic bottles, microplastics, the estrogenic effect, the way that's going to affect your brain and all the imbalances. You got to get your body right in order to feel better. I could ask a million questions, CC, about your boyfriend, because I don't know the source of his depression, because like I said earlier, you have to find the source. But I will say that regardless, you need your body to be at its best. And that's just the way it is for any of us. You always need this to be healthy, no nutritional deficiencies, guys. Well hydrated, clean water, and hydrogen brings it all together. All right, any last questions? All right, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys on the next one, okay? All right, sending love out there, guys. Jamor says, I have one really important question. All right, Dremore, what is it? To sterilize my water distiller, same as yours, do you just flip the sterilize switch? To be quite honest with you, Jamor, I don't think I even have a sterilize switch on my machine. All you got to do is clean the tank. You use, you can ask any, because I don't know what distiller you have either. So you want to contact the company that you bought it from and find out how to clean the tank. On mine, it takes something called lumen, and citric acid for distillers is very common. And then and that's it. It's really quite simple, actually. Nova the Zombie Fighter says, God bless you. Thank you. Wow, thank you so much. And I sincerely wish the same to you. May God bless you also. And Jamor says, okay, I'll call the company. Thanks. All right, guys. Till next time.